Hi, and welcome to another edition of Talking to a Biologist. Today we're with Dr. Mark Fry from the Department of Biological Sciences. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks.
What we're doing here today is we just want to find out a little bit more about what brought you here to the U of M and why you're interested in biology. Maybe you could tell the students a little bit about what brought you here to the U of M. What was your route? Were you a traditional undergrad, master's, PhD, or did you take time off, or what was your career route?
Oh, I just kept going until I ran out of school. So I did my BSc, I did an honors degree at Memorial University of Newfoundland, and then I did a PhD there as well. Then I did 3 years of postdoc at Dartmouth Medical School in New Hampshire, and 3 more years of postdoc at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario, and that's how I came to be here.
That's how you came to be here at the U of M. And what is your area of study?
So my lab focuses on the neurobiology of obesity. So we study changes that happen in the brain as people become overweight and hopefully be able to find treatments that will facilitate weight loss.
Wow, that sounds like an interesting area. What got you interested in that?
I have a personal interest in this. So in reality, there's a lot of scientific interest in this right now. I mean, if you could find a pharmacological treatment for weight loss, I mean, it's a $10 billion a year industry. It would be the Viagra, the new Viagra of weight loss. And the other thing is, in terms of just pure basic science, I mean, it's a really interesting question. It's regulation of homeostasis at the very most simplistic levels of an organism.
That's very interesting. So are we close to a cure for obesity, or is it going to be a more complicated question?
It's probably a long way off. Some pharmacological treatments are being tested right now, and some have actually made it to market, but they tend not to work very well. But I'm sure everybody is aware there really is no magic bullet, and it's all about lifestyle choices.
So if you were talking to a first-year biology student right now who's maybe been interested and wants to become a researcher and get into a lab and is interested in helping humans in terms of our biology and our treatments, what advice would you give to that first-year biology student?
Study hard, get good grades is really important. Today's academic environment is incredibly competitive, and if you want to get ahead, well, then you have to put your nose to the grind. I'd also recommend an honors degree in an undergraduate program as well. That gets you very good, very practical lab experience, and it makes you highly desirable for people, investigators like myself, who want trained people working in their labs.
So do you hire students sometimes for summer jobs, or?
Yes, I do. I've hired co-op students in the past, and I'll have 2 undergraduate students working in my lab this summer. And I have currently, 2 master's students and a PhD student in my lab.
So you've been in Winnipeg for a few years. How do you like it so far?
Well, the winters are cold. I used to think that past minus 20 degrees it didn't get any colder, but that was pretty silly. Minus 40 is way colder than minus 20. But coming from the East Coast, the winters here are beautiful. I love the winters. It's sunny all winter. It's just cold.
It's just the cold that you have to contend with. And so moving on here in Manitoba and future directions, besides the obesity question, do you see yourself tackling other questions, or where do you think your research will take you 10 years from now?
Well, so right now I'm pretty involved in my current research program, but it's expanding into areas of genomics and evolutionarily speaking, I mean, why some animals might be predisposed to becoming obese or gaining weight, whereas others tend to be able to maintain their body weight a little more closely.
Are there cultural differences in obesity? Do there seem to be different control mechanisms depending on sort of where your direct ancestors came from on the planet?
Yeah, there are. There are some populations on the planet, people that have been historically isolated, that are really predisposed to gaining weight, even given the same nutritional intake. There's a group of Indians in southern North America that are very famous for this, for gaining weight. And actually, when they gain weight, almost everybody will become type 2 diabetic, which is normally one of the diseases associated with obesity.
So what, from an evolutionary standpoint, what maybe was going on there?
Well, there's a lot of debate as to the evolution behind this, but one of the ideas that's been kicked around is something called a thrifty gene hypothesis, which sort of makes sense. The idea with a thrifty gene hypothesis would be that people within a population that had the ability to gain weight given the same amount of nutritional input and store that as fat might be able more able to survive in times of famine than people who weren't able to store as much fat. So that's one potential idea that's around now.
So that if you are in an isolated population and times get tough, it would certainly be evolutionary advantageous to be able to store every extra calorie that came your way.
That's one idea. Yeah.
Are there other are there groups of skinny people anywhere? Can we find those people anywhere? Or once we give everyone a Big Mac, everyone gains? Is there a population that we know of that's famous for being the unthrifty gene?
I don't think so. I think in any given cultural population, there are people who will be more susceptible to gaining weight. I think there may be populations of people that may be more resistant to gaining weight, and I think Asian people, there's a study that just came out recently, tend to have lower body weights, lower body mass indexes than other cultural groups.
And would that be a cultural difference or a physiological difference?
Hard to say at this point. It's really a hard experiment to really conduct.
We'll be able to do that once everyone in the world has McDonald's, then we'll have an equal dietary fat playing field, and your research will become easier. Well, thank you very much for sharing your time today. We really appreciate that, and we'll now return you to your regular scheduled lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you.